All right, what's up, everybody? Good morning and welcome to another Tuesday morning of Feelings hosted by Ricardo Sturdivant. So right now we're live from the Reinventing the Tattoo Network, streaming out all over the place. You might actually even be watching us later, but today is Tuesday, August 16th. For those of you watching live, be sure to comment in the YouTube or Facebook or any of the other places that you guys are watching. Other than that, we have all of the stuff there where tattooers, apprentices, collectors, and the curious are encouraged to join in. A lot of these live streams and also real world events that are happening all of the time. If you guys are watching also, you can find us in our new channel on Roku, which is available 24/7. We have several channels that you guys can watch or put on in the front room for your clients, which is actually very, very nice. You can see our full event schedule as well at reinventingthetattoo.com, as well as a Zoom link to join. If you scroll down to our calendar, mostly every single day of the week, you guys can find something to join in on or to better your skill set. Every Sunday with Jason Leeser here today, we have our skill building Sundays where you can start off your week at 1 p.m. Eastern, bring something that you're working on or like to talk about. And that is a great environment for all of that. Also, Monday mornings start early with James Wisdom at 9 a.m. with Drawing for Tattooers, followed by the Tattoo Weekly at 11 a.m. with myself, Gabe Ripley, and Jake Meeks. And then later on in the evening, Monday at 5 is Robbie Rapol's Feelings. So other than that, Tuesday morning at 10 is right here for Ricardo Sturdivant's Tuesday Feelings. Wednesday at noon is the Tattoo Now show. Thursdays at 6 is Tattoo Collecting 101. And we started all over again. We also have other weekly shows that are happening once a month, like Renee Little, Haley Adams, and all that good stuff. Before we kick off with some drawing today, we do have Hell City coming up. So if anybody's going to be there, drop a comment, let us know. I know Medusa and pretty much everyone here today will be there. Beyond that, I guess let's shout out our sponsors before we get started. World Tattoo Events, with the largest, most comprehensive resource for tattoo events in the world. Raw Pigments, any company that is tapping into the source with acrylic-free inks that have been impressing artists around the globe. You guys can find us in Hell City with Jake Meeks in 2 weeks from now. Also, thank you to DLize Pro, known internationally as Dermalize Pro, and some of our affiliates, Tattoo Now, Fireside Tattoo, and the Apprenticeship Diaries. All right, I think everybody's good to go here, so I'm going to go ahead and bring everyone else in. Ricardo, what's up? Good to see you again. I know that I've missed the last 2 weeks, I believe.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I've been there for almost every other one.
Yeah, I won't hold it against you. How about that? Yeah, no, it's cool, man. You were busy traveling, getting tattooed and stuff like that, man. That's totally cool.
Yeah.
You went down to Hyperspace Studios and got your leg tattooed by Fawn and Guy, right?
Yeah, that was really cool.
That's fucking awesome, man. How was the trip?
Incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, is there any other word for it? I'm not sure.
No,
it was really great. Yeah, because I know that when you and Jason went, we were kind of texting back and forth. That was kind of when I first met you guys for your last trip. And now it was cool that even Fawn's here now for her and I to be there. So all four of us have had this like really neat experience of stepping into the realm that is hyperspace.
Yeah, for sure, man. I know exactly what you mean. That is cool. I do recall that very vividly too, like driving down there and stuff like that. Jason and I left the top down on his Jeep all the way down, which was a good idea at the time, bad idea once we landed. We were burned.
Not fun. Not fun.
It was hilarious. Dude, it was so funny. We were both red as shit, man. It was crazy. We knew we had to do
that's a
video.
horrible idea. I remember talking to you guys about that.
Yeah, it hurt too. It was bad. It was bad.
Oh,
but
I don't Jeep, but I do drive a van that has a roof on it, and I still carry sunblock with me everywhere, gentlemen.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think you guys want to see me. I was in Florida this weekend, and I feel like someone took red paint and just kind of boop, boop all over my body.
A big splotch of red Cardo, right?
Red Cardo.
Similar shade.
Slightly more. Red Cardo refers to a very specific shade of red. It's not quite orangey, and it's not more on the pink side. It's like right in the middle.
It's kind of like this one right now. I mean,
that's it.
You can only achieve that color red when you become such an amazing artist.
Right.
Red Cardo. You know, it's funny, Allie, good morning to everybody. And also, Good morning to Jerry. He says, cheers all, painting along as usual. Bit of Ricardo for the win.
Yeah, all right. We got some new hashtags going on here, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
I love that turned into a running joke. It's my favorite.
No.
All right. Well, hey, since I'm in behind the wheel, I'm going to go ahead and spotlight some of you guys to show us what you're working on. Ricardo, I'm going to spotlight your drawing.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
You want to talk about it a little bit, where you're at, what you're thinking?
Yeah. Well, last week we talked a little bit about what it's like whenever you start to question, is a drawing finished, how to get it to the finished position, how to move along for the next part of the project, whatever it is you have planned for it. This one I had planned on making it into a painting. And so I've been kind of messing around with it I think I started the drawing probably about a year ago or so, and I just was thumbing through my sketches, and I decided to kind of use this as an example of sometimes the emotional attachment you can have with images, and that being part of the process, and discovering where it needs to be finished, or how to get it to where it needs to be finished. So it's just a lady and these two little boys with some mushrooms and stuff everywhere. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Ricardo, it's a little, can you hold the drawing up just slightly, just so anyone watching can see? Yeah.
I'm sorry, the lighting's bad. My tripod thing is kind of poopy right now, but
It's okay.
there we go. There we go. So it's this woman, a motherly kind of figure with these two boys and stuff like that. I had wanted to put mushrooms and stuff all around it with this little skull down at the bottom that the boys sitting on. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of show some of the things that, like expose myself just a little bit more as far as emotional attachment to some of these drawings that I do, and be able to become a little more vulnerable with my artwork, and leave it open for interpretation as far as what the viewer sees, and knowing full intentions of what my idea of it was. But it's always interesting to kind of have those moments with the viewer and how they discover what it is that it means to them. So some things are like with tattooing and stuff like that, some things are very literal, so wait, did you ask me to join? Okay. Some things can be very literal in tattooing, a lot of the times you have like the, straightforward like panther dagger, or a heart and a dagger and stuff like that. And it's always awesome stuff to see those things, but I like a lot of things that can be left open to interpretation sometimes. It's a really interesting point in tattooing that we're in right now, where there's a lot of art being brought into the tattoo industry, and I'm seeing more and more pieces, a lot from overseas, where there's like they look like paintings sometimes. And it's not the actual process itself, it's just the actual subject matter and the way that it's used and the way the body gets utilized in order to accomplish that overall subject matter, the placement and the effect that you're going for.
One of the things I wondered when I looked at that, Ricardo, too, if it was two different boys or if it was one boy becoming, so the interpretation thing is really neat.
Yep, there you go.
Yep.
Yep.
So, Fawn, I'll spotlight you too if you want to show off what you're doing. 1 second. Some buttons have to be pressed.
Mm-hmm.
Working on like the last few weeks when I'm on the show. Just making it glowier today. I threw a layer of like French ultramarine blue that I thinned out with liquid and mineral spirits. So I just like glazed the whole thing today before I started doing anything. And now I'm kind of like bumping up the whites and making this cool glow be the new focal point instead of like the bones. So I think maybe a couple more sittings and we're just going to see like this crazy glow with like the silhouette of bones kind of cutting it up. I don't know. Alien snake.
It's funny. It reminds me of the blues that are on my leg and how it kind of radiates this certain blue light. I mean,
it happen to be the exact same blues just by happenstance.
Yeah.
And then there's this little started at art night the other day. I might jump into this here in a little bit. those space stuff? Or does it go this way? I haven't decided.
Oh. I would think that way. I would think vertically.
Space for interpretation.
All the room for interpretation.
Deep space interpretation.
Mason, what do you have going on today?
Breakfast.
Breakfast. I bet it's the same breakfast as me.
No, I ran out of fruit.
Sorry to hear.
Sorry, I've been up for maybe a total of 20 minutes. So
Oh,
I
damn.
am still in the process of becoming conscious of what I'm doing and saying. I'm not quite there yet, but I will get there eventually.
Do you
Today's
have
episode.
appointments today, Jason?
What?
Do you have any appointments today?
I do. I've got a gaggle of people coming in, who it was a last minute thing. And yes, I do think people travel in gaggles. I just like saying the word. I kind of feel bad. It's a whole bunch of people coming in for a memorial tattoo. My coworker and I split up all of these people between the two of us. Fine, not a problem. Then I just got hit up last night by another one of my clients to knock out something small on them. Okay, not a problem. I'll squeeze you in. But it's like we're getting hit with the post-summer, everyone's going to be going back to school and wants to get tattooed kind of time right now. So a lot of it's just helping to pick up the overflow from all the walk-in traffic. So It's like, okay, cool. I'm in between appointments. I can take one or two of you. What are you guys trying to get done? Right. And then cool, those are done. I got to start setting up for my next appointment. Awesome. Let me get done that appointment. And then it's like, okay, is there anyone left? If there is, what can I help you guys get? So now's a much busier time of year because everyone's coming back from the shore, which they've been at for the past like month.
Yeah.
Everyone. It's like there was mass exodus. Everyone's shore place finally became available to rent. So everyone was going down to the shore, and then everyone had to pay off going down to the shore. So It was like, all right, well, whenever you get back from vacation, let me know, because obviously I don't want you around the sun. Well, I mean, it's the sun. I'm kind of like, no. Yeah, I avoid the sun at all costs. That's why, like, when I got sunburned on the road to hyperspace with Ricardo, that was the first time in like 8 years I've gotten sunburned.
Wow.
Like, I avoid the sun at all cost.
That's not tattoo related, or have you
Part
always
of
been
it
like
is,
that?
yeah.
Obviously it is, but have you always been like that?
No,
Okay, so
I used to love, just going laying outside, having fun. And when I started to really realize how much money and how much time I've spent getting tattooed, and how much I really started to hate the fact that some of my clients would go out, and I had one client specifically, I'm not going to bring up her name, but I could, who used to work in a tanning salon, and she used to like have free access to the tanning beds. And I was like, okay, cool. And then she came in and she wanted this bright, colorful floral tattoo. And sometimes when people go tanning, they'll put like a little sticker on, and they'll get like that super white patch, right, to show how tan they are. So she was like really pale by nature, but her skin tone, wow. Okay, like you can't, I mean, I guess if you like, I've seen it done with like fake tan, but like this was a whole nother level of like natural tan. I've never seen it. Never. Not on someone that fair to start with. I can't imagine how much time she spent. So
probably time every day. I'm gonna let Faith in as well, just so you know. She just popped in.
Cool. But yeah, it was enlightening to see what kind of an effect that had. And this was very early on in my career. So I actually got to see over the years how that's affected everything, and then how no matter how bright the pigment is when you first start, you're still working with an underlying, like, imagine like tinting a canvas, right? That's going to show through, and that's going to change your optical perception of those pigments.
Yeah, and plus they're made up of different pigments too. Like you'd have a brown made up of different pigments with different light fastness, or like Jesse was speaking about in one of the
Right.
seminars. So
Right.
over time, like it's going to affect you differently, but it'll definitely make it look different.
Like I'm that guy you'll see out at the beach wearing like one of those long sleeve Under Armour surfing shirts with like long sleeve Under Armour surfing like leggings, putting sunblock on his face and head every 30 minutes. That's just, yeah, I'm pretty bad. I don't like the sun. We don't get along.
I had my quarrel with the sun last weekend. So yeah. But anyway, and Faith, I hate to say it, but can you rotate your camera?
Yes.
What you working on?
Showing some flowers.
Flowers?
Working on some flowers, is that what you said?
All on that style that's coming out of Europe, Pinterest, all that kind of stuff. There's like all these different variations in it. You know, 3 months. Like there's this version coming out of, I think it's sort of down towards like South America, where they're doing it with line work, but they're making it really, really big. And then they always have two little bands of like middle on every single petal. And then there's stuff coming out of Europe that it's all like realism. And then they're using tons of foliage to sort of frame the object boundaries of the flowers. And I'm sort of trying to like find a medium between those two so that I can kind of do it. I think it's really pretty, but I don't know. I think a lot of people are just busting out lines and shading and sort of trying to do it. And I think it's a lot more intricate than that. So I've sort of been trying to follow it around the world a little bit over the last couple months.
Could you hold it up to the camera?
Yeah, I can see. It's just very simple.
Okay, cool. Yeah, like the real delicate line work stuff.
Just trying to, like, some people are just kind of lining it, but I'm trying to sort of use the values of going from like dark to light in the line work, and then also kind of frame with the foliage and get the contrast of the light flower. And like I've seen it where like the flowers are washed out. I've seen it where there's like all you see is leaves, and I've seen it where it's temporary tattoo and it's not even real.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of just trying to find like, and then I want to take this and sort of adapt it into watercolor and kind of do like my own version of it in color if I can swing it. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to balance it all, but it's harder than it looks, in my opinion.
It looks cool though. I was just gonna say real quick, Faith, before we just saying everybody in the chat. So Jerry says gorgeous, excellent form on her. Also little something. Ricardo's sketch looks super pretty. So that's really cool. I like that. You guys share some of the good feedback. And then Allie says, wow, Fawn, that's really cool. So
Nice.
yep. And Faith, before we came on, we were just kind of talking with everybody about what their plans are, what they're doing today. So do you have anything going on other than working on some drawings?
I not really. I'm sort of packing up my apartment, so that's kind of on my
Okay.
agenda for life. Not necessarily today, but trying to do like a little bit each day instead of like all at once.
Okay.
That's kind of my agenda.
Cool.
Lauren, I'm gonna switch the camera here. If I share the screen, does that dominate the screen for everybody? Or will it still show like a gallery mode kind of deal?
It'll take over.
Oh, okay.
It's okay.
All right, cool. So I show the drawing a little bit more, if that's all right.
Yeah.
Let me switch this around. Okay, sorry guys. Technical difficulties. Operator problems.
You make a rad dad, Ricardo.
Yeah. Why
Yeah,
is that? What do you mean?
you just have the dad comments on
Yeah.
lock.
Oh, dude, I got the dad jokes and everything. I got it all. Hang on one second. So,
Jason,
about you guys.
Your fans want to know what you're eating.
Same thing I eat every morning. Cereal.
Cereal.
Every morning without fail. Some type of cereal every morning. But what I do is I usually do a third of a bowl of cereal, right? Just enough to get you your carbs for the day. And then I'll do usually like a half a bowl of blueberries, strawberries, blackberries, and strawberries. That usually takes up the rest of the bowl, and then I'll eat that because it's one thing, according to one of the nutritionists that I was working with a few years ago, people, especially in the US, we're not getting enough fruits and veggies. So I've been trying to increase my intake of fruits and veggies every single day and kind of cut back on the carbs. It's been working a treat. Yeah, I mean, it's really delicious because I love berries. If you're someone out there that can't have berries, I feel kind of bad for you. I think they are delicious. It's like nature's candy. So.
Jason, did you see this?
See, you know.
Yep.
It is. It gives you a good start to the day. And then what I started doing a few years ago, I was quite a bit heavier. And like, I'm not a very tall human being, so it showed, right? I mean, I've got pictures where like you could see it in my face. And they wanted to put me on blood pressure medication. I wasn't about that life. So I was like, let me bring it down myself first. Started switching things out, front loading my carbs in the beginning of the day and then burning them off throughout the day. Then switching over to like fruits, almost purely vegetables by lunch and dinner. Dinner, if I really needed an extra like sugar boost or an extra energy boost, I would just have some like fruit. Usually something a bit more citrus, like pineapple, or like an orange or grapefruit in the evening. And what I found was by tapering off my carbs throughout the day, my blood pressure dropped, my weight dropped. I also cut out all sodas, so that's helpful. But it was great. I started to feel better. I started to think more clearly. My blood pressure was great. Like it started to really help me get into like a more balanced mindset.
That's
So
a great point.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to change the way that you are, you have to start not only with like what's external, but also look at what's internal. What are you putting into your body? You know, that's a big thing people don't really think about.
Mm-hmm. Jason, while you're on the subject of obviously one thing that I love, fruit and yogurt parfaits, which by the way, Guy eats them the same way. So one of the things is I was getting tattooed. We were there all day, but in the middle of the day, I just grabbed one of those hyperspace mugs, popped in a fruit and yogurt parfait, and I felt so much better. It was like midway through the session. So
when I took my drive out to visit Ricardo and Guy, I actually planned ahead a few days, and I went out to the grocery store, and I got one of those big Rubbermaid like mixing storage bowls, and chopped up probably 4 containers of strawberries. I think I put in 2 huge containers of blueberries, a whole bunch of blackberries. Like I actually prepped my fruit before I went. And you know what? I got hungry on the road. I took a roll of paper towels with me and reach over, grab a handful of fruit, throw that in your mouth, and you'll get through an 8-hour drive in a heartbeat. Not a problem.
Actually, Fawn and I did that too, going out with cooler with fruit in it.
Absolutely. You know what? It's going to give you the natural energy that you need to keep going. And you're also going to burn it off pretty quickly. But it's not it's not like it's bad for you. It's not like your body's going to store it and not burn it off. You know, it's going to be burnt off pretty quickly, which is one thing I really like about it. So
we're car my family, but we do like when let's say I spend all day kayaking with my sister and her kids, we'll pack up the cooler and we'll have like all the fruit snacks, all the like quick grab and go little like healthy, good energy things. But we always have like all kinds of like meats and cheeses too. So it's basically like a rolling charcuterie board while we're like going down the river.
That's funny.
that's awesome.
But like it's always like good quality cheeses too. And like Brittany will go out and get like ham and salami and she'll like cut it herself. So like we know what we're eating. It's not like fast food. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's really easy to giant Lunchable and snack on that all day long. And you don't have to worry about any variables. Like, is this food going to be greasy and give me heartburn? Am I going to crash out an hour after I eat it? You know, you can think ahead and just have like all of your favorite snacks ready to go. And I kind of think like when I'm traveling, I like to eat those like snacks, like grazing rather than sitting and just like packing in a huge meal. I also think that really helps when I'm getting tattooed because like usually I only sit and eat one large meal a day. So I can't like force myself to eat like that without like not feeling right. So I think like as you're getting worked on or like even as you're like working and using your brain energy, but anytime you're like really spending a lot of energy during the day, I think it's really good to have those like not just candy, not chips, not pizza, but like have healthy snack options, and your body and your brain just works so much better for you when you do.
Absolutely. Avocados are good for that kind of thing too.
Ricardo did a whole episode on that kind of stuff with a friend of his, and
Oh yeah, that was good.
that was a good one.
Yeah, he knows his stuff, man. He talks a lot about that too. You know what I mean? Like if we're in a time crunch kind of scenario, which we always are, right? Due to people's pain, due to their comfort and stuff like that, and the amount of time that we have in between us not dying or keeling over on them because we're starving. You know what I mean? He talks about like smaller meal portions, but packing it with the things that really matter, like the things that actually give you energy versus things that are super convenient and super fast. And that happens to be fast food, tons of carbs, tons of cheese. You know what I mean? Tons of like things that you can pick up with your hands and go fast. But there's a lot of other things you can pick up with your hands as well. You know, like apples and oranges. And,
Yeah.
banana, for Christ's sake, spinach, or like even like broccoli or cauliflower, which I've learned to stop hating cauliflower so much and start like embracing it fully. You know what I mean? It's the evil cousin of the broccoli, I think.
People. So
Yeah.
Ricardo, that's also important to think about, for example, when you're traveling, because it's like most people, they'll get to an airport and they're like, okay, well, I'll have these chips for $5, like, but if you're traveling to a convention, you really do have to take care of yourself the same way, almost more so, because it's a lot less predictable. There might only be soda and pizza, but if you were to bring in your lunch and you have like an apple in the morning and then, and you're prepared, it'll vastly change your day or your weekend.
Yeah, totally.
Just come prepared.
It makes you feel better. Go ahead.
I was going to say one thing I started doing whenever I travel to a convention, and especially in an area I've never been before, I'm always scoping out where's the closest grocery store.
Yeah.
And I'll go there and I'll get snacks for the show. I'll buy my own fruit, local fruit,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll get all of the food that I need for the weekend at that grocery store, so that way I don't have to eat the $12 chicken fingers and the $8 Pepsis every day for meals. And I find some way to sneak it in every single time, which is awesome, because there are some times when fast food's not going to do it. You need something like, especially if your body's already adjusted to health food, you cannot just slide right back down that rabbit hole of, I'm going to go and eat a greasy cheeseburger. It's going to make you feel nauseous. I know, I did that. And I almost threw up from it. Even today, when I go to eat out, I'm trying to find the freshest thing on the menu, no matter where I go, because otherwise I know it's going to make me feel sick. So I always try to bring my own stuff with me. That way, and it's not necessarily about money. It's more about, I know what my body needs by now, and I want to make sure I can provide that. Now, I was listening to a talk with Bill Canales at the Explorer conference this February, March.
March.
And that dude is a machine. I don't think he's human. No, like seriously, I do not think he is human. He does, when he starts tattooing, if you book out all day, if he starts tattooing, he does not stop ever. No snacks, no breaks, no bathroom, nothing. He's like, I eat most of my food in the beginning of the day. And when you're there to get tattooed by me for 8 hours, you're getting tattooed by me for 8 hours straight. We're not taking a break ever. I will not go to the bathroom. I will not take a sip of water. I will not, stop for a snack. I will not do whatever. You're paying for my time and I am not cheap. So I'm trying to help you get the most out of your appointment. And that just kind of like blew my mind. I'm like, 8 hours, no water, 8 hours, no food, no bathroom breaks. Really? Is that something a human being can do? I think he's from the future.
That's crazy. You got to drink some water in that time. He doesn't take breaks for anything, really?
No.
Huh.
But I mean, he can bust out an entire sleeve in 8 hours flat.
Wow, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, like any of his dragon sleeves. He knocked one out in the Pagoda City Convention in the beginning. I think it was 2 weekends ago. Knocked it all out in 6 hours, start to finish. Drew it right on, and then start to finish 6 hours. Boom, there's your dragon sleeve.
Damn.
That's what Jerry is. Jerry in the chat is saying complete dragon sleeves, one sitting, the best, one of the fastest alive for sure.
Yeah. So he's right up there with Philippe Lou. Like, I mean, Philippe Lou will give you a whole bodysuit in 2 days flat. Wow. But Bill is insanely fast, but part of that is his efficiency. Like, you prep and you know what you're getting into when you book an appointment with him, and he doesn't pull punches, and he is that fast because he's not stopping for anything. He's there to do a job, and he wants to make sure people get their money's worth. I highly respect that, but I don't know if I could ever do that.
Hey, Fawn. Some people are asking what you're working on, if you want to show us again.
There's that little guy. Then I'm bouncing between that one and this one here. I can't believe I just did that without getting ashes all over everything. That was my
Impressive.
Okay, I'm gonna work on this one now with no censorship issues.
Hold it up one more time, Ricardo.
Let me get the censorship issues out of the way.
Oh, there we go.
So uptight about it. But I'm just gonna work on it a little bit more and just procreate out. I think I was having issues with 2 cameras there for a second, so.
The issues we don't have anymore is pretty incredible though, right, Ricardo? I
Yeah,
feel like we've all kind of gotten into the swing technically.
Yeah, to a certain point. I'm still lagging. Get it? Lagging. Hey, there's some more dad stuff for you. See?
I had a good mom joke this morning, but we aren't going to go there.
Okay. Maybe for another time.
Yeah. So I know that last year that Ricardo, Kier, Jason, Gabe, and I were going to go to the Brussels tattoo convention.
Yep.
Kind of sucks that COVID kind of canceled that. Do you guys have
We
any?
still have standing tickets, by the way.
Do you want to go?
Ricardo.
When is it?
November 16th to 18th, but I spoke to Kim the other day and we're going to do some pretty cool stuff.
Okay. Yeah. we're
So,
counting on-
Jason, if you want to rain check that, because we were going to go together anyway. But yeah, if anybody's watching, if you guys have any international conventions that you're interested in, drop them in the comments, because it'd be cool to talk about them, you know, because Jason and I have done a lot of talking about places to go and things to see internationally. And it's cool that it's kind of that time already almost.
It's going to be awesome.
Can't believe it's already been a year.
Yeah, each of us does have that flight voucher.
Yes, we do. And I think it's still good for one additional year after this, but I'm trying not to let that go to waste. So the cool thing is, if all goes well, and I'm not sure when they would be flying in, but I know a few of my friends are actually going to be in Paris around that same time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not too far away.
Nope. France.
So it's my friend Clement from Malaysia, and he's flying out with a whole bunch of guys from I Love Tattoo in Taiwan.
That's cool. Yeah.
Like some pretty well-known guys. Augustine Canales is going to be there. His dragon work and his waveforms are like on a whole nother planet. Fell in love with his work, but it's like, okay, well, when am I going to get out there to get tattooed by? The last time I watched this guy work was in London 2018. Yeah, London 2018. And it was like, he's mastered the art of losing the human body in what he does. Where when you look at a large scale tattoo that he's done, you don't see the human form anymore. And it's incredible. I fell in love with his work, but he's going to be at the Paris show. I'm trying to get him roped into Puerto Rico next year, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, I think they're going to be showing up in Paris right around the same time.
So one of the cool things, Jason, that you and I kind of really, really click on is like a lot of things, but in terms of like the pigment. So we're going to be doing on that Saturday night, like a presentation type situation for a couple hours with a lot of the artists. So yeah, if anyone happens to be in Belgium or Europe, that would be really cool for you to join, because it's with us, we're all comfortable together. But when you get in a room of artists that either blow your mind or they don't speak the same language, it's a totally new experience.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm still caffeinating, so
Yes. Well,
my
I'm glad that we-
vocabulary has been shortened for right now until I'm at full levels of caffeination.
Adjectives are good.
Also, Allie in the chat asked if any of us are going to any southern states this year for conventions. I can't think or say that I am, but I know there's a few that are going on. I'm not sure if you're talking like Florida South or like Texas South or Mississippi South, but what about you guys?
I've been thinking about
Puerto
trying to.
Rico.
Yeah, Jason's in Puerto Rico.
I mean, that's pretty south, right?
That's pretty south.
Way down there. That's way down there.
Yeah, it's down there by them that their equator.
Well, there is I went last year. It was a Villain Art show, but it was at the Tampa one. And I know that's towards the end of October. I know they have that spooky tattoo festival thing around Halloween in Orlando every year. I'm sure Atlanta is still going to be coming. I'm not sure, but the Tampa one was actually pretty fun. And it was in a good setting with a lot of traffic.
We actually threw out the idea on Sunday, if you watch the replays, about getting a small group of people together, finding a way to rent an RV and doing like a tattoo road trip.
RVs aren't that rent.
Yeah.
Not that
Oh,
expensive.
that would be cool.
Yeah. And then like starting out with the East Coast and just hitting like one or two spots in the Boston area, working our way down all the way to Florida. And then, maybe coming back up, and having specific targeted places to go and see and do things.
Jason,
What
I
if
have a
we
lot of experience doing that.
Do you?
I do now. And I kept a record of every single place I ever went. It would be fun.
Wonder if we could do like a Raw Pigments vinyl wrap. I think they would be down for that.
Well,
And just wrapped in RV.
if anyone else is, I mean, I know my friend Brent, who, God rest his soul. Do you guys remember him from Infinite Irons? What a
Yeah.
sweet, wonderful human, but he lost his life. Anyway, he used to go around and do that, shop to shop. And it was a little bit more common before COVID, but now I feel like, there's a lot stronger prevalence of mobile suppliers and all of this stuff that are going shop to shop. But when you go into a shop and another tattooer who feels like, like they're stuck or who knows what, they just don't have a lot of outside influences, and you walk in and you're like, man, that's really cool what you're working on. I'm glad to see it in person. It's a whole different thing than any sort of social media interaction or anything. And it's not only great for them, it's great for you. And who knows, you make some of the best relationships that way.
Oh,
It doesn't always
absolutely.
have to be planned,
Yeah, we were trying to plan out like points of interest. We had someone jump in on Sunday from Jacksonville.
Yep.
They want us to stop down. They're like, it's huge tattoo area. I'm like, absolutely. We
That's
can
kind of
put
where
that on the
Berkeley
list.
is.
So Jacksonville, oh man, there's all different. We could stop down. We could drive all the way down and say hi to Bruno in Miami.
Yeah.
Fort Lauderdale, all over Florida. Drive up, stop in Atlanta, stop by, say hi to Russ. And just like work our way up or work our way down. I think it would be a great time to go through and do that. We would just need to do that at a point in time when I guess like everyone could. We would have to coordinate. There would be a lot of planning involved. But
Yeah,
I'd be down for that.
there would be a lot of planning, but something like that is, I think that it would be something you don't want to let go too far without doing it,
Yeah. Ricardo, imagine setting up an easel on the top of an RV and painting the sunset.
That'd be
Right.
pretty awesome, dude. That would be pretty radical.
Jason, you're so sweet.
I every now and then I get some good ideas. It doesn't happen very often, but when it does,
Just
they're
every once
usually
in a while.
really good.
You could call it like reinventing on the road.
Yeah, the Reinventing Road Tour.
I'm inviting myself, everybody.
Lauren, you have a standing invitation.
I was gonna say,
So-
You don't have to.
I don't know
Already
if I've my van, but I have a full size van, super comfy already. Like if you wanted an RV, if you wanted double the money you spend on gas, you can do that. But I already have it.
Jason.
I'm
Yeah.
just thinking about like where are we all going to sleep,
I
right?
have a full size van. We'll take the second row of captain seats out and just make it like a slumber party.
Ricardo likes to snuggle, Jason.
I do.
Yeah.
No.
Boys,
Kira's here.
What up, Kier?
She recently went somewhere cool. I forget exactly where, but we'll have to ask her. I saw it on Instagram. What's up, Kier? We were just
Hi.
talking about you a little bit ago, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think it was Belgium is what we were talking about.
About Belgium?
Yeah, because we never rain checked it.
Oh, yeah. Whatever happened to that?
It's coming up in 3 months.
Oh, geez.
Gabe's gonna go next year though.
Oh, okay. Well, that's better. That's awesome. Well, good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's having a good morning.
You recently went somewhere pretty cool, Kira, am I mistaken? Museum or something? Forget.
I went on vacation, like for my birthday, about a couple
Oh,
weeks
okay.
ago.
I was watching on social media. I wasn't sure what it was.
Oh yeah. I went up to like the White Mountains in New Hampshire. And we kind of like did this Airbnb cabin thing in the middle of the woods, and then gave you like a little backyard area that has like a stream that goes on it, and they give you firewood and no self-service whatsoever. We actually had to, if we ever wanted to like call our parents or something, we had to go like 20 minutes away and like borrowed somebody's Wi-Fi from like a cafe or something. So it was actually really nice to just sit outside and just let the day go by. It was pretty nice, much needed for sure. But yeah, I see everybody's working on stuff. That's really cool.
Congratulations. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a fun birthday. The big 2-4 now. So now I am in the adult mode for real.
Is it really the adult club? I mean, I don't even feel like I'm an adult.
Large
I know.
children's club. Oh, sweet Medusa's here.
Oh shit, the gang's all here. What up?
She's popping in now.
Hell, hell, the gang's all here.
There you are. Hey, Medusa, did you have problems with the link this morning?
I did.
Okay, I got it updated for you. Here, let me know.
Right. I was able to go through the calendar, but the other links when it was saying that the host hasn't started yet.
Got it. Okay. Calendar is
Hi.
a good place to go for Tuesdays for me. As a
Yeah.
how have you been? How's it going?
I've been all right. I'm joining late today. How's everybody else?
Good. I think we're all kind of just chilling.
Should we do a roundhouse with some of the art updates that you guys have been doing so Kira and Medusa can see? We'll start maybe with Ricardo.
Yeah, let me show you.
Nice. Super nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
I took a picture of the pencil sketch that I was working on earlier. Here, I'll show you the pencil sketch. And I don't know if you can see it or not.
Yeah.
That's gorgeous.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a drawing that I started a while back, about a year ago, and I thought I'd kind of try to get back into it today. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's cool.
Sometimes you
What
gotta
are you
step
working on?
away from stuff to let it come back, you know?
Yeah, I'm stepping away from a few projects right now because I'm burnt out and I need some space.
Yeah.
Fawn, what are you working on?
This little guy. Or maybe it goes like this. I
I
don't know.
love it. I love it.
Maybe you can put it on a rotating easel and it just goes like this.
Yeah.
It's cool.
While
It's
you're
always
painting
moving.
it.
Yeah.
And there's another one, Medusa, that's kind of evolving into something cool that I've been working on.
Oh, dude, that's fucking sick.
Yeah, I just threw like ultramarine glaze over it today and then started kind of pulling that white glow back out. So I think when it's all set, white glow will be like a cool white blue, and then it can also be silhouetted. I think I'm gonna because I have a painting sitting next to it and I like the green. I think I'm gonna add just like a kiss of like a hot green, like ambient light to everything. I don't know. Cool blue.
Should add some hot
A
paint.
nice green wash over it would help.
It's actually got some burgundies and stuff in the underpainting, so it reads really warm for as much blue as in it. So
Gotcha.
I could go with a pink glow, but like seeing this green next to it kind of makes me want to push it green. I could change my mind tomorrow and it could be like lavender. I don't know.
Dave, you want to show us what you're working on?
Oh, me?
Dave. Oh yeah, you made some progress.
To make the petal lines without actually looking like lines. that make sense?
Yep.
Yes.
Positive negative relations.
Yeah, but with nothing behind it. So it's like, and it's like super open. So
Yep.
it ends up a balance between like looking segregated and then turns right into a line. So I'm trying to figure that puzzle
think
out.
It's using contrast and tonal gradations in order to manipulate the negative space.
Meaning,
What you're trying to do, you're trying to make shapes out of the negative space with stark contrast to the white, so that being the opposite of the white would be black. And then your tonal gradations are going to help make the shape or the form of the negative space, and then using the negative space as the overall like highlighted area or the focal point. And then you use sharp edges in order to tighten it up and make that focal point a little bit more obvious, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like trying just, yes. Trying to keep it constant.
Did that sound right? Sometimes I wonder.
Okay, yeah, I know what you said. It's a puzzle, but there's so little few pieces to it. And they're all so subtle that it can like, you can tank it in so many ways, kind of. I'm trying to figure out sort of a system, I guess. That's kind of my, but it down to eyeballing it.
It's part of the reason that I like doing charcoal and using gum erasers and stuff like that is because you can lay down like a medium wash or medium tone throughout the whole piece and then start erasing out your highlights and stuff like that and start shaping it a little bit more.
I'm trying to figure out in my head how it would, like if I want to do, like I'm thinking about just lining the whole thing in like raw pigments, like light or medium wash, like that. Like crazing in just some of the, like the really low lights and seeing if I can get that sort of work. But I don't like it when it's just line, you know what I mean? But at the same times, then if you fuck that up, then it looks not good at that point. So, it's my current obsession.
Awesome.
Medusa, what are you working on? I could
I
see
don't
what
know.
you see from here.
I don't know. As usual, I don't know. Still getting to know making a mushroom. Just getting to know oil paints, learning the medium. I think we're getting along really well. It has been officially, like, as of today, 1 week since
Wow.
I started playing with oil paints. And I did my first still life last night, and that was super fun. It wasn't really a still life. I copied a picture of still life because I didn't actually have any apples. And I didn't want to go to the store because I was stoned and it's not safe to drive when you're stoned. PSA. So,
Glad I
I'll
know
go-
that now.
just so everybody knows. I'll go grab that real quick. And so
Hey guys, I got to
Yeah.
step out. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming in, Jason. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Yeah, I got to run some, I just got done running off some prints for a local artist. So I got to shoot up to their studio and drop those off. And then I have to hike all the way out to my studio and get set up for the day. So I'm going to take a step out. Thank you guys very much for having me, as always.
Peace out,
and
man.
I will catch you guys on Sunday.
See ya.
peace
Later,
out,
dude.
Jason.
Hi, Jason.
Bye-bye.
Oh, wow, Medusa. All right, here we go.
Yeah, this is the still life I did.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So that's my first finished painting with oil and my first still life.
All right.
And, I did that last night.
Killer, man. That's awesome.
I'm gonna
Thanks.
put an oil along very nicely.
Thanks. Yeah, I think yeah, me and oil are gonna be besties.
Crazy how like everybody before people start in oils, it seems intimidating. But once you do, you realize how much freedom you have and how much time you have, like push and pull the paint. Like you can apply the paint and then you can move it around. It's not just putting it there. You can put it on the canvas and then you can push and pull and move it.
Dude, it's great for someone like me who's a little afraid of commitment. I can like just move it around. Yeah.
So one of the things that I love about oil colors, and like now that you've been doing it long enough, there is kind of an undo button. Like you can go back a step or you can go back several steps. So sometimes like I use liquid when I paint because it gives me like a 4 to 6 hour window that I can work in. But once that like dries to the touch, like, you know, the following day or several hours later, if I want to go through and I want to glaze it and I want to put a whole new element in, if I hate it, do you know what I can do? I can wipe it off. You can just wipe it off. Like if the layer underneath is mostly dry from your previous session, if you do something you hate, you don't even have to correct it. You can just wipe it off. That was pretty mind-blowing when I kind of stumbled upon that trick.
I am practicing my patience because that is a skill that I do not have. And I
virtue.
feel like
That.
yeah, oil is the way to learn how to have patience. I'm not good at waiting for layers to dry first, so this is definitely challenging for me. So when I've tried wiping things off, because I haven't waited for previous layers to dry enough, I've just like wiped everything off and just been like, cool, at least it's erased.
This is why I always have going. So if I do something that I'm happy with and I need to let it set, I've always got another little painting or two in my bag. And I always call them like my side paintings or like my distraction paintings. But I always have like multiples that I can jump to, because especially when I'm working small like this, inevitably you get to the point where it's like, okay, I got to let that dry before I can do the next step. Or, you know, you just get to that point. Or like maybe my next step is I just can't do anything until I glaze this whole area. So, and sometimes, you know, each project is a little different, but it's nice having different projects around. The other thing I like about that is like, you know how sometimes when you're working on something and you get so focused on it, it's almost like you can't see the forest through the trees.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh,
So,
yeah.
I feel like having multiple paintings sitting around, especially paintings that are completely different, it allows me to focus my brain and eyes on something else for a few minutes. And when I come back, it's just like, oh, that's what it needs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I love your brain waves right there. I think we're on the same similar brainwaves. Yesterday, I realized when I was waiting for something to dry and anxious and I wanted to keep painting though, I started prepping a bunch of other canvas boards and just doing like the base layer toning and some sketches on it and everything first, so that when everything else is dry, I can go pick up something else and work on it. So yeah, that's a brilliant idea, especially for people who don't like to wait around and want to just keep going.
Yeah, when the energy is coming out, you can't put it on pause.
No, that's something that I find very frustrating with being an artist, is that inspiration isn't constant. You have to either keep creating it yourself and keep coming up with yourself, and the momentum, if the momentum stops, it's really hard to get it going. So you got to like find ways to keep it rolling.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny, some of the nerdy brains in the world over lifetimes have almost an equation for that. And it's funny because if you're missing a single part of the equation, it just doesn't add up anymore, you know, in terms of ambition or motivation or inspiration. But yeah, getting yourself out to Phoenix, I think will really be a great thing for you, Medusa. I'm excited to see you out there.
I'm really excited.
I got to get going. My appointment just showed up. I'm so sorry. Y'all should keep it rolling though. This is awesome.
Okay.
But peace
All
out,
right.
y'all. Take it
Peace
easy.
out, Ricardo.
See you,
See you
Ricardo.
later.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really excited. I meant to go to Columbus, but unfortunately, like 6 hours before I was supposed to hop my flight, my dog was in the hospital and had to be put down. So that ruined that whole vacation. I was gonna like split a hotel with Kyle too. I had like my whole schedule of seminars planned out. I was texting people and like, meeting up and everything. So I'm not letting anything stop me in Arizona. And I switched my schedule to at the place that I'm guest spotting at. So I'll be guest spotting during the daytime and be able to party and hang out in the evenings at the convention center.
That'll be a lot. That's because honestly, just the way that it goes, I think you'd feel uncomfortable if you had to leave at that point in the middle of the day to work, and then that way when you go there, you'll feel a lot more relaxed because it goes literally all night, and just being around people that you've seen online and stuff is a great feeling at night when we're not really focused on working on what we're doing. It just gives you a lot better chance to talk and mingle.
Yeah, I figured that also it wouldn't be very effective for me to be able to mingle and everything while everybody's in the middle of a tattoo appointment at their booth talking to a bazillion people walking by. I'm pretty excited. I am really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be super fun. I did have a question. Is there no paradise this year?
Needle dig is still a thing, I think.
Are you talking about the Jiminy Peak event?
Yeah.
Gabe and I just kind of started communicating about that. So I believe announcements and stuff will be made soon.
Okay, cool.
So yes, that's going down. I don't know how the same or how different it's going to be, but yes, that will be going down again.
All right, cool.
Talked about it a little on the Tattoo Weekly, actually. If you've watched any of those, what Gabe said for a few weeks now, that it's going to be more of like a needle jig event, is what he's been telling, but it will be located at Jiminy Peak and stuff. So he's been pretty excited and working on that with him.
Yeah, that was my
That's cool.
Yeah, he said it several times, so that's why I kind of wanted to
this time, but I think it's going to be a very similar event.
So excited.
Kira, I haven't gotten to see you in person yet, so it would be cool to see you around that time.
Oh my God, are you going? That's so
I
exciting.
don't know, but I know that if it doesn't work out or whatever, I know that I was supposed to go to New York towards the end of October too. Because there's a New York tattoo convention that week, the weekend before, which is like the day before.
Okay. Awesome. Well, that's gonna be very exciting. I know I've been so sad that I haven't been traveling this year, but it's for the better. But I'm so excited to see people and start going to that conventions and whatnot. It'll be fun to see everybody again. Miss y'all.
Here, you look so good with blonde hair.
Thank you.
Just say it. You're like glowing today. You're so cute. I'm gonna be your hype woman.
Absolutely. Medusa, you and I should just rent our own bus and just be hype women for America.
Yeah, we'll travel around, we'll visit shop to shop, and we'll just get hypey and be hype women. Yeah.
Just walk into someone's random booth and be like, hey man, that's clean as ever.
Like, you're doing great. You're going places. Keep it up, my dude.
Yeah.
You guys could be like real likes, like people like your shit because they'll touch a button on their phone and you'll be like a real heart.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's the real likes? You just show up and be like, heart.
No, I really like it.
You didn't ask for us, but we're here. And now your day is immediately better.
Duh. Is always better with us. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that everybody is painting. The season of painting is starting to happen, it feels. So I have a question, I guess. When you guys are in your ruts, I guess, when you put your paintings, on hiatus for a minute, do you do some background work on Procreate as to like next steps that you could do before you approach the canvas again? Or you just get back into it and you're like, all right, back into it?
I don't plan like that. I never know what's going on. That sounds like the steps of somebody who knows what they're doing.
I mean, but that's even more awesome to do, because if you can make apples like that without planning, then heck, man.
That was still life. I was copying a picture. The apples already existed. I had to do nothing. I just
But what do you think the world is? It's just a picture. You ever just walk around and you're like, oh wow, that lamppost is a great composition, and then this person you're with is like, what?
Dude, I have been baffled by lampposts before. I was going on a walk with a friend and I was like, that's a gorgeous lamppost. Like, gosh, do you see that? Look at the ironwork. My friend's just like, yeah, it's nice. So anyways, what I was saying was she's trying to have a serious conversation with me about some relationship issues. And I'm just like, lamppost.
I actually fully understand that, because right outside my shop is this gorgeous lamppost. And in the wintertime, it has like this warm lighting with the blue night sky, and then it reflects off like the green bushes. And I'm like, oh, beautiful. This is amazing. I just want to, with my brain, I guess.
Well, can you text me pictures of that lamp?
Yeah. I don't know if I actually took any pictures, but I'm almost on my way to work, so I will take pictures tonight of said lamppost.
Okay.
It is beautiful.
I want to know about this lamppost, and I'll send you some cool lampposts around my neighborhood too.
Yeah, I mean, like my town is like one of those Massachusetts towns where they preach about how old their stuff is. So all like of the stuff is like from the 1700s. So it's a very vintagey looking lamppost, just to give you a picture of what said lamppost looks like.
It's almost like living in a fourth-hand society at that point.
Yeah.
Where it's captured so much energy from all these hundreds of years. It's so crazy. With that type of architecture, it's almost more than what it is.
Yeah, our shop that I work at now, it's like underneath like a bubble tea place, but the way that it's all set up is so weird. And that's because it used to be a carriage house for horses. So it used to be like a horse area for like carriages and whatnot. And it like our booths are stalls, like they're the horse stalls, and it's really cool.
That is cool.
How it works out, yeah.
That's cool.
Guys, I also wanted to say that Renee says what's up. I know that everybody likes Renee, so.
Everybody
love
loves
Renee.
Renee. Renee,
Renee. Well, that's awesome. But
girls, is this all girls panel by accident?
Oh yeah.
a taco party.
I don't think that's ever happened.
I love this.
Bye, Ricardo. It's a pussy palace now.
Is this where we talk about boys?
Ew, I don't want to ruin my date talking about boys.
Guest spot? Did you hear me? Have you thought about coming to Red Tree for a guest spot?
That is something that would be super cool. I was actually gonna talk to you guys and ask if that would be something that we could set up in the next year when I see you at
It would be very easy to arrange. We have plenty of space.
That would be phenomenal. I'm trying not to jump ahead of myself and just first guest spot at Blind Tiger and see how that goes. Like, because I might, like, what if I hate guest spotting? What if I have a lot of anxiety and I just can't hack it outside of my comfort zone? What if that?
Not every guest spot will ever be the same.
Yeah.
So it'd be
Yeah,
like,
true.
yeah, I think what you would need would be something like where with Red Tree would be so great because you're so kind of connected with everyone there already. Or in
I
any
wanna-
instance.
Yeah, I want to go to paint night so bad. I saw the Instagram things of paint night, and I was just so
Oh, that
like,
was so fun.
Yeah. Had this past week, we had Nick Mann from Grand Rapids doing a guest spot with us. He accidentally booked himself too heavy to join art night, so he was kind of bummed out that he missed that. But yeah, like if you want to do a guest spot, it's really pretty easy. Message me, Kyle, and we could get you the right email to communicate with Durban Jules. It's really, really easy.
Hell yeah.
And Red Tree's comfortable. I mean, it sounds like I would just be like partial, but like it's really a comfortable, very like you roll up and it's this huge warehouse, but as soon as you walk in, it's very warm. There's art everywhere. There's supplies everywhere. And
If Red Tree were actually in a tree, it'd feel like it kind of, it's like a
Wait,
different,
it's not a tree?
no, but you do have to go up the stairs to go to the rooms. Some of the booths, at least Vaughn's and Jordan's and stuff. It's kind of like going up into.
That is cool. Yeah, no, I saw all the Instagram posts about paint night, and I was all like, damn, that's not happening here in Portland. I need to get my ass to the East Coast.
Midway.
I got too much Tupac and I need to get more Biggie.
I just want to say too that that's so awesome of you for taking your best foot forward and doing guest spots. That takes a lot, and very proud of you for making that decision for your career.
Thank you. It's terrifying, but I also kind of realized that I'm at a spot where the only way to learn more is to surround myself with different artists from different backgrounds and stuff. I mean, aside from the Reinventing community, which has like exponentially blown my mind as far as learning goes, but I've realized that I'm really comfortable at work, and it's starting to get to a point of stagnation. So I feel like the best step to move forward is to experience some new things. But you know, I don't want to like quit my job and just go to a different shop. So guesting is where it's at.
I saw this quote the other day that kind of reminded me that it was like, standing still feels secure, but gaining momentum to move forward requires tilt or sway. So walking is kind of like controlled falling, and feeling off balance leads to growth.
Walking is like controlled falling. That sounds like a stoner thought. But that's
Y'all know me.
it makes sense though. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, because
No,
you
that's
get
awesome.
security in standing still.
And that's a good mindset too to have for your decision to guest spot, because I feel a very similar way. Like you don't want to leave your shop. You're very comfortable where your shop is, but you feel also comfortable with like the knowledge that you know and you want more. So I think that's a great way to start getting yourself out there. That's awesome.
Yeah. Kier, you're wanting to do like a tattoo tour next year, aren't you?
I keep saying I want to do that, but it's the final decision of, you know, am I ready? Is it time? Do I wait? It's that weird limbo, you know? Do I make the jump or do I stay type of thing? So there's lots of planning involved and like how everything's
It
going
could be
to
two
work
different things
out.
though. You could jump on like a cushion and be fine. You could jump on the concrete and not be fine. But yeah,
Yeah.
like it's a lot easier to jump if you know that like it's not gonna hurt.
Yeah, exactly. It would be so fun. It's definitely like a dream goal to just like, because that's what I thought of as myself, would be a traveling tattoo artist, do lots of conventions, lots of guest spotting, because like Medusa said, very comfortable at work. So that's the only time that I can see myself being more open rather than like shut in and shy and just like, hi type of thing. So but it's just making sure that I'm established in my skill set to be able to do that, because I don't want to show up at a shop and then completely, suck.
So tattoo people permanently every single day, and you're worried about skill set changing depending on the room you do the tattoo in?
I guess
Good
so,
point.
but I guess
Yeah.
that's what that is.
Girl?
So where's the root of this worry? Are you worried that you'll like embarrass yourself or disappoint people in a new shop because where you're at right now you are comfortable and you know that that's not going to happen? Or are you actually afraid that you're going to start sucking if you're not in your own environment?
Oh no, I definitely don't think that. I just think it's, the initial jump out of your comfort zone. Comfortable where I'm at, you're comfortable with the clientele you have the room of support around you. So making that jump to go somewhere else and put yourself out there is a big one. So, but I have a great group of friends. You guys are awesome. So at the end of the day, it might just be me stopping me, right?
I think so. You're always welcome to come out here to Portland and guest at my place for a little bit. I can help you with that, and then we can hang out. And I know I've said this a million times before, but you can crash at my place. I live across the street from a 24-hour donut store and 3 blocks away from an art store. So
That's
Perfect.
Yes, I am so willing to do that. I have a bunch of people in mind and lists and bridges along the way. It's just actually making the jump to do it is really it. But I think I will at some point.
yeah. So I wanted to give a shout out to the person who even suggested travel tattooing in the first place. It would be Renee Little. I was meeting with her at a Paradise on like one of the last days. We went out with Ananda to do like plein air painting in the field. We had a burial for a grasshopper. It was pretty intense. Yeah, it was pretty intense. And then we sat and talked, and I was explaining about like feeling stuck and not sure where to go next and learning. And she was just like, you should travel tattoo, like just guest spot and it'll do it. And that's been stuck in my head ever since. And now at the end of the month, I'm finally going to do that. And it's all because Renee is the one that put that in my head. I didn't even think that was an option unless you were like well-known and famous or something. I didn't know that regular old.
One thing that I was talking to a pretty successful entrepreneur recently, and he's got businesses in LA and Vegas and all around the world. And one of the things that he said that he's really thankful that he did before he actually did anything with his life was establish his own core values, and he won't sway away from them. So like when you're looking for something like a guest spot in Arizona or a guest spot in Columbus, which Columbus would align, but find out what your core values are and kind of do your own research to make sure that your core values are aligned in that spot, because that'll really alleviate a lot of anxiety. For me personally, I've walked into more than 2,000 tattoo shops, and there is a wide array of what you can expect. Like you just really like do your research first, find out everybody who works there, kind of figure out their vibe, and maybe even look them up on Google, like go into it, because if you have these core values that are going to be kind of like, guest spotting is so hard to do if it's like across the country. You really can't predict certain things, talk to artists who have already guest spot there before, what to expect, make sure you have a perfect travel container and stuff. Just getting rid of the anxiety before it even is presented to yourself will be big, and a learning process. Yeah, because you could have people in there who use a very, very specific stuff or whatever. Or it's like very specific clientele that just doesn't maybe fit for your style. So you could maybe expect walk-ins, but it's totally different from what your normal would be, or you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a really good thing to keep in mind.
Whenever I go down to Ink and Dagger, like for my guest spot, there were only a few times that I actually like scheduled appointments ahead, but I kind of liked like just the refreshing take on like taking walk-ins, because at home I never take walk-ins at home. You know what I mean? My schedule's been months out for years, so I haven't taken walk-ins since probably the first 6 months of my tattoo career. So when I travel and when I show up at a studio, I kind of like the surprise of not knowing what somebody's going to ask me for, not knowing like, what style is going to be the most popular in this community? Like, am I going to be doing lettering and neo-trad? Am I going to be doing like tribal and biker stuff? Like, I kind of like the element of surprise when I travel, because everything else is so planned out. Like, I can look at my schedule right now, and for the next 2 months, I know every project that I'm working on, and there's not really many surprises. So like, I also like that when I'm doing those walks, that it's that element of like the accidental learning, you know, like I don't know who's going to ask for what, and I don't know how far out of my comfort zone I'm going to be, but you know, I'm going to try and do the best with whatever comes at me.
Chris in the chat asked, what do you guys think about guest spotting in the same city? It depends if it's the same city, like 3,000 people, or if it's the same city and 1 million people, maybe. But what do you guys think?
I mean, if there's a special event or something going on, I feel like, would it be worth it for me to pack up all of my equipment and go a mile across town? Probably wouldn't be worth the wear and tear on my equipment just to pack it up.
I feel like it's the same thing about doing conventions in your own city, or like smaller conventions and stuff. Like there's the Portland Tattoo Expo that's happening, and we're not going to go to that because we already have an established shop, and like we already know everybody in Portland, and why pack up to go to the convention center that's like, you know, 1.5 miles away. I feel like you're already settled. So I also feel like that's a weird thing to do as far as the business ethics. Like, are you drawing your clients away from your own business to go to the business next door just because you're there for the weekend?
You could also bring them in to do awards and stuff like that and represent your brand as something of Portland. Because when I go and I'll go to shows and I'll be like, oh, there's a tattoo shop right here and they're not at the expo. Like, who are these people? What's the real life like in that city? What are the tattoos like in that city? So even sending your clients to the show just to represent your brand or yourself would probably be more effective than having a booth and they're like, oh, you're in Portland. Okay. You know, kind of like what you're saying.
Oh, that makes sense.
And maybe the clients will appreciate your work a little bit more when they see that it's kind of like, you know, really good. A lot of clients are kind of like, we don't really access a lot of this stuff and really see into our world very often besides what they see in your station.
Oh man, my station.
Yeah, I really think the only time it'd be like not weird spot at another local studio is if you were doing like a combined special event together. Like I've definitely done fundraisers with other studios. You know, we'll combine and do benefits. Outside of those situations, I mean, at Retry we do art nights and we invite other artists to come to the studio all the time, but like it'd be kind of funny to be like, bring your tattoo equipment and set up. That's is really confuse your clients because they're not going to know which studio you're at when. So that's why I would steer away from working at other studios in your own town. It's going to be just confusing for clientele. But
yeah, And a lot of clients don't associate you with the studio too. So when they're looking for like what I've heard is a lot of people will lose a lot of their clientele when they move to a different studio too, because like half the people that are getting to know them are getting to know them through that studio. So when they're suddenly not at that studio anymore, they're just like, oh, well, I guess I'll just go to the next artist at the same studio because I don't know where else to go.
That's a super good point, Medusa.
I recently got a job offer at a different place and I passed it down because I just wasn't in a place where I could uproot myself. And also the whole dog thing had just happened and I just couldn't handle switching jobs at the time. But one of the reasons is because I'm still in my first 2 years of tattooing and I am still at a point where I need my walk-ins to, you know, pay the rent and everything. I've got a lot of big projects and I've got a lot of return customers, but there are still days where I need those walk-ins. I feel like a lot of the people that come to me, they know me from being at my current shop. They'll call the shop and ask for me. So if I were to leave, those people would call the shop, ask for me, find out that I left, and then go on to the next artist at that shop.
I couldn't agree with you more. Myself too, being within my first 2 years of actually being licensed, you need the walk-ins for sure. Absolutely.
Oh, I love walk-ins. I'm not afraid of walk-ins. They're super fun. You're gonna meet new people. And like, even if it's 12 infinity symbols in one day, I get 12 chances to practice my line work.
Absolutely.
Some of my best clients have come from walk-ins. On our show, I've had my buddy on a few times, and he's like a local rapper in Columbus. And I was like 30 seconds from like stop and walking out, and he and his wife come in and they just wanted tiny little things on their ring finger. And that has started like probably 14 years ago. So a 14-year friendship with him and his then wife. They've separated, but like I've done so much work on both of them and I've done so much work on their entire family. And it started as a walk-in and they went to the shop that was literally across the street from me. I was at Studio 13 in Columbus. They went to the shop that was right across the street and they up, so they turned them away. So they walked over to mine and I was like, yeah, I'll do it for you. And it led to like a whole branch of new clients just from taking that teeny tiny little walk-in that, you know, it took me more time to set up my equipment than it did to actually do the little tattoos. But you never know what a walk-in is going to turn into. And there's something about that. You know, there are people that are spontaneous and they just because they're spontaneous, it doesn't mean they don't care. It just means like in this moment, I want this right now. But they might be the kind of person that plans out a whole bodysuit 6 months later.
Absolutely. I agree.
All right, guys, I got one more question from the chat. Ready?
Mhm.
Do you feel like the relationship between an artist and a client can affect the outcome of a particular piece of work? Like if a client is cordial and nice, but you just don't get along?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 100%.
What do you think, Kier?
There are, I mean, more often than not, when you have a client come into you and they've been to somebody else before and you're just like, oh, like, how was the experience? And they say that like the tattoo's nice, but the experience was horrible. So now that they have that attached to their tattoo, now they think the tattoo is horrible. So I think definitely it just depends. I'm sure all three of us have dealt with people that like we didn't really get along with, but at the end of the day, had the professional relationship, gave them a great tattoo and left with them smiling, and or other way around. I'm sure there have been clients that all three of us have been like, you know, maybe I'm not the right artist for you. Maybe this isn't what you want. You know, you have to have those discussions, and it's just what happens when you're don't know, a person. Don't mind don't mind my sound. Sorry, my cat is trying to get into the box. So there might
Or my coughing.
being a
What do you
person.
think- what do you think about it?
I think that for me, something that I need to work on is maintaining my interest in the piece of art when my interest in the person wearing it has completely depleted or vanished. I have noticed before that it feels like when the client is difficult or let's say like offensive or, rowdy or just not chill, my interest in doing the project significantly lowers because I'm being irritated and everything at that point. And I think that comes out in my tattoo work because I'm less enthused about making it. So the quality goes down. And that is something I'm working on. It's not something I do intentionally, but it's just like a side effect.
Honestly, Medusa, I don't think that's even something you really can work on. That's just what you can work on, however, is as your following grows and you depend on walk-ins less, you're just going to have fewer of those situations. In reality, I have a plethora of clients, but I have a handful that still are like, we probably wouldn't sit at the same lunch table if we went to high school together. But most we would. So there's always going to be that. I don't even want to use sour grape because it's not even necessarily a derogatory thing. It's just your personalities aren't quite right. And that's not anything that you need to work on. You need to be confident in being you and putting you into what you're doing. The reality is there's occasionally going to be clients that are kind of like sandpaper to your soul. That's how people are. And you still just have to be you through that.
I think you'll appreciate
Absolutely.
it more over time with more of those situations because just considering you're in your first 2 years, because it won't be a permanent thing as you can start to craft and cultivate a better clientele that's more fitting for you. Gabe used to talk about that girl in Italy, Lady Sarah, but she's obviously got many more years under her belt. But the way that her clientele is what she's very particularly and very intentionally attracts. And through everything that the people or potential clientele would digest is crafted for her. It's almost like an algorithm like Instagram does.
Mm-hmm.
Over time.
Yeah, we're just people, and people interact with people, and not everybody, gets along with everybody. But at the end of the day, how do you do something, and that's what the focus is.
All right, the comment's pretty good, by the way. He's like, if you're halfway through a beautiful piece and all of a sudden the person starts being a total D-bag, so half the tattoo is gorgeous and the other half is like, F this guy or girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's where, get so far along the project, it kind of takes on a life. So like, even if the client totally derails, the project still has to be like, I have the integrity to put my best into it. Like, that's, some artists might half-ass it, but that's the integrity of the artist.
Yeah.
Care about your work, you're going to do A+ work, even if you don't care for you make that commitment. What you learn is to not take that client on for another project.
Yeah, I think I got a kind of good example. I had a client, I don't know, like 8 months ago or something. And she was one of those clients that just really that horrible, moved a whole bunch. She was getting just some lettering on her calf. She moved a whole bunch, screaming, yelling, hyperventilating, the whole nine. And not only obviously am I calming her down and like doing that whole thing, but during the tattoo, I am calm as a cucumber because I just got these new liners from Black Claw and I'm trying these out on lettering and I'm zoned in on this and trying to keep it as still as possible and zoned in on it. And afterwards, everybody in the shop was like, how did you handle yourself like that? How were you so calm? And I was like, because I was more focused on the work rather than, you know, her screaming. You know, so I think that's very important to just, I don't know, be emotionally in on what the goal is, which is to give them the best work possible that you can do, regardless of who they are, what they are, where they come from, anything.
Well said.
But I have to head to my shop. It is that time. So yeah, it was awesome hanging out with everybody and seeing everybody. Miss y'all and peace out, I guess.
See you, Kira. Thanks for joining today.
See
All
ya.
right, we should probably wrap up soon because we have our Reinventing meeting coming up very quickly here. So if you will go ahead and sign out, go around and tell everybody where they can find you. Faith, since we haven't heard from you in a few minutes yet, you want to start?
You can find me at WinColor on Instagram, WYNN color.com. It's a free tattoo art education program focused on just learning to mix color, and with color wheel and palettes all focused on raw premium.
Right on. All right, we'll see you again soon. And Medusa.
Hi, I'm Medusa, and you can find me on Instagram at Medusa Slays with 3 S's at the end, or on my website, medusaslays.com.
Right on. And Fawn. You're muted. You're muted.
You can find me on Instagram at fawn_baker or fawnbaker.com. You can also listen to me run my mouth every Thursday on Tattoo Collecting 101.
All right, cool. Thanks everybody for watching and being active in the comments, and we'll see you in exactly 1 week.